Bonjour tout le monde, ChalataLove here. And you know, here lately I've been getting quite a few inquiries and questions about my production. And I know I've been promising everybody that I was working on a video, that I've been working on it. Well, guess what? Finally got it done. And it was a labor of love, but we definitely, I think, have put something together that may answer some questions for you and kind of possibly point you in the right direction, I hope. Now, when it comes to streaming on YouTube, you really only need a camera and a YouTube account. In order for you to be able to stream live on YouTube, you need to have at least 50 subscribers. And that sometimes can take a little while before you can accumulate that many subscribers. There is a way of getting around that rule, and that is by having a studio setup, kind of like what I have. And you need a camera, a computer, and OBS to be able to do that. And if you are able to do that, then you can get around the 50 subscriber requirement that you need to have in order to be able to stream live. In this video, you're going to get a complete tour of my entire pinball streaming production setup. Cameras, lighting, audio, networking, workspace organization, and then we're going to dive deep into OBS Studio to show you exactly how I configure everything, including how to create professional scene layouts with custom styling, chat integration, and remote stream control from other devices. Whether you're just getting into streaming or looking to upgrade, this guide has something for everyone. And don't worry, you don't need everything I have. I'll show you what's essential and what's nice to have. Let's jump in. Let's break down the 3-camera setup and why each one is positioned where it is. First up, the Elgato Facecam MK2. This is the playfield camera. It's mounted on an 86-inch gooseneck tripod stand positioned directly above the pinball machine's playfield. This camera captures the entire playing surface, flippers, ramps, targets, the ball in motion, everything viewers need to see and follow the game. The Elgato's full HD quality with Sony sensor means the video is crisp and clear, even with the fast ball movement. The gooseneck arm lets you position the camera at exactly the right angle and height. You can bend it, adjust it, and once it's set, it stays put. The 86-inch height gives plenty of reach to get directly above the playfield without the stand getting in the way of player's view. Camera number 2, the Anker PowerConf C200. This is mounted on an MT88 overhead camera mount, which attaches directly to the pinball machine's topper. The MT88 is lightweight and rock solid. Once it's attached to the topper, it doesn't move, doesn't shake, and you can adjust the camera angle precisely. From this position, it captures both the back glass and the DMD display in a single shot. In OBS, this one camera feed gets chopped into 2 separate sources, one section showing just the back glass, another section showing just the DMD. This way, you can position them independently in your stream layout. We'll get to that in a little bit. My third camera is an OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite with AI tracking. This one's my favorite. The AI tracking feature means it automatically follows movement. No need to stay perfectly still or adjust the camera midstream. Move around, gesture, react to the game, the camera tracks it all. The wireless remote provides manual control when needed. You can pan, tilt, zoom, and switch between preset positions. During a live stream, you can reposition without touching the camera itself. Now here's an important detail about why I choose 3 different camera brands. When running multiple cameras simultaneously, there's a potential issue with MAC address conflicts if you use multiple cameras from the same manufacturer. By using 3 different brands, Elgato for playfield, Anker for backglass, and OBSBOT for Facecam, we completely avoid any potential MAC address conflicts. Each manufacturer has their own address range, so there's 0 chance of collision. Clear audio is non-negotiable. If viewers can't hear you, they won't stick around. I've tried many brands, and the Hollyland Lark M2 wireless lavalier microphone system is a game changer. This tiny wireless mic that magnetically clips on features 1,000 foot of range and a 30-hour battery life. It provides complete freedom of movement with no cables and no restrictions. The receiver plugs into the computer via USB and includes 2 lavalier mics with a protective case that doubles as a charger. The case even has an internal battery pack that will charge the mics twice on a full charge. Audio quality is excellent with built-in noise cancellation settings that filter background noise and focuses on voice. The difference is significant. Professional wireless audio versus built-in computer mics, it's night and day. Behind every smooth stream is solid computing and reliable network. This is a 2017 MacBook Pro 15-inch with a 3.1 GHz quad-core Intel Core i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a Radeon Pro 560 dedicated graphics. Now you don't need this exact laptop or even a MacBook. What you do need is enough power to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. Here's what this system's computer needs to handle: OBS encoding, 3 camera inputs, 1 mic input, and chat monitoring, all at the same time. At a minimum, I recommend a modern quad-core processor, Intel i5, i7, or i9, or an AMD Ryzen 5 or 7. At least 16 gigs of RAM. This is important for handling multiple video sources. A dedicated graphics card helps with encoding, especially if you're using GPU encoding. Multiple USB ports or quality USB hubs for all your devices. Speaking of ports, you'll run out fast. 3 cameras, mic receiver, extra monitor, power adapter, it adds up. The Anker Premium 7-in-1 USB-C hub provides HDMI output, Ethernet, and USB 3.1 ports. The Anker 5-in-1 hub adds additional ports. You don't want all the camera traffic to go through one USB port. There's a limit to the input and output that each USB port can handle. It's important to spread the load amongst the ports. I use a USB-C extension cable to plug the mic receiver into the port. This keeps the receiver from blocking the other ports on the laptop or hubs. The network connection is crucial. Wi-Fi can work, but wired Ethernet is essential for reliable streaming. This Bros Trend 2.5 gigabit Ethernet switch provides 5 ports and blazing speeds plug and play. It is connected to our home router via Ethernet cable. Both the streaming laptop and the AtGames pinball machine connect to this switch. Wired connection for both means stable, consistent performance with no dropouts or lag issues. Quality Ethernet cables matter. These Cat8 cables support up to 80 gigabits per second. Overkill maybe, but network bottlenecks are never a concern. The Kingston Data Traveler Max USB drive is essential for the AtGames setup. Here's why. The VPX standalone tables require a separate external drive. They cannot run directly from the machine's internal storage. This 256 gig drive with 1,000 megabit speeds is dedicated to the VPX standalone table storage. But here's the smart part. You can partition the drive. One partition for VPX standalone tables and the other partition for overflow storage when you run out of room for AtGames native tables on the machine itself. As you add more tables and more tables to your collection, that internal storage fills up. This external drive gives you that expansion space you need. The blazing fast transfer speeds mean loading tables is quick, and having dedicated external storage keeps everything organized. The APC UPS battery backup is insurance. It protects against brownouts and power surges, which can be very damaging to your pinball machine. Bottom line, you don't need the latest, most expensive laptop or PC, you need enough RAM to handle multiple video sources, a decent processor for encoding, and reliable wired networking. Alright, now that we've covered all the equipment, let's dive into the software side of things. First, we need to download OBS Studio. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. Since I'm on a Mac, I'll click Mac Downloads, but you can see the links here for Windows and Linux as well. It's completely free and open source. The installation is straightforward, just follow the prompts and you'll be up and running in no time. Okay, here we are in OBS. This is my primary scene that most of you are probably familiar with if you've watched my streams. Let me give you a quick tour of the interface. Up top, we have our menus: File, Edit, View, Docs, Profile, and Tools. We won't go deep into all of these right now, but these are where you'll find the advanced settings and customization options. This is important: scene collections. Think of these as different stream layouts you can switch between instantly. I actually have two scene collections set up. This one is regular purple, my standard streaming setup with my Facecam visible. And this one is no face, which has many of the same elements but without the camera on me. Maybe I'm having a bad hair day, or I just want to focus entirely on the pinball action. You can easily toggle between them here. Within each scene collection, I have multiple individual scenes for different parts of the stream. Here's my main scene. This is what you see during actual gameplay. Then I have my starting soon scene with the intro video, the pinwheel for the famous pinball helm, be right back for when you need a break, my end scene for when we're wrapping up, my merch page, and several others. Each scene serves a specific purpose during the stream. Let's look at the main scene in detail. Down here in the source panel, you can see everything that makes up this scene. I have 3 cameras: the playfield camera showing the main game action, the backglass camera, and my Facecam. Then there's the DMD score display, my logo, and the chat box so viewers can see their messages on screen. You'll also notice a bunch of color sources. These create those colored boxes and frames behind the cameras and chat to make everything pop visually. Down here we have the audio mixer where we can control volume levels, scene transitions for smooth switching between scenes, and the control panel with start streaming, start recording, and other essential buttons. We'll come back to those in detail in a little bit. Now let's get into the actual setup. Click on Settings, then go to Stream tab. This is where we'll connect OBS to your YouTube channel. The output settings are crucial. Now here's the thing. Every computer setup is different, and what works for me might not be optimal for you. I'm using a Mac with dedicated graphics, so I'm running Core Audio AAC for audio, and Apple VTH264 hardware encoder for video at 12,000 kilobits per second for streaming. But you will need to check your computer specs. What GPU do you have? How much RAM? Is your processor strong enough? Google best OBS settings for your GPU model, and you will find recommended settings for your specific hardware. Start there, then test and adjust based on your results. There are other settings in here for video resolution, audio sample rate, hotkeys, and more. Feel free to explore, but the defaults are usually pretty good for most people starting out. Now let's configure our cameras. Each of my camera has its own software for fine-tuned settings. First, Elgato Facecam MK2 uses Camera Hub. Here you can adjust ISO, white balance, exposure, and really dial in the look you want for that camera feed. The OBSBOT Tiny 2, that's my face tracking camera, has its own app. This is where the magic happens. You can enable AI tracking so it follows my upper body automatically, adjusting tracking speed, set zones, and control the gimbal. And the Anker Works C200 handles both my backglass and DMD score display. I run these at 720p with a 95-degree viewing angle. Why not 1080p? because when you're pumping 3 camera feeds into one stream, the load on your computer gets heavy fast. Running this one at 720p keeps things smooth, and since I crop them down in OBS anyway, you don't lose much quality. But again, experiment with your setup. Alright, now comes the fun part. Let's build a scene together from scratch so you can understand how this all works. I'm going to create a new scene collection. Let's call it New Test. Perfect. We've got a black empty canvas. Time to bring it to life. First, let's add a background color. Click the plus button at the bottom of the sources panel, select color source, and name it background color. It defaults to white on a 1920 by 1080 canvas. Let's change that. Click select color and you will get these options: a color wheel, RGB sliders, or my favorite, the crayon pencils at top. I'm going to pick eggplant for a nice deep purple. Click OK. Nice. Now we have our base. Next, let's add the playfield camera. Click the plus again. This time select video capture device. Name it playfield camera. Then select your playfield camera from the drop-down. Click OK. Okay, so it's huge and sideways. Totally normal. Let's fix it. You can click and drag anywhere on the canvas to resize, grab a corner, and drag inward. Now it needs to be rotated. Right-click on the source, go to Transform, and select Rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. There we go. The playfield is right side up. But we're seeing too much of the machine's frame. We need to crop it in to just the playfield. On Mac, select the input by clicking on it, then hold down the Option key while you drag the red edges inward. This crops without resizing. On Windows, you'll hold the Alt key instead and drag those edges in the same way. Crop each side until you're only seeing the playfield area with minimal frame showing. Then you can reposition and enlarge it again to fill the space you want. Now I want a colorful border around it. Add another color source and name it playfield frame. Pick whatever color you like. It automatically appears on top and covers everything. That's because of layering. Think of this like Photoshop or any other image editor. Everything in your sources list is a layer, and the ones at the top appear in front. I need to move the frame layer underneath the camera, but above the background. Just drag it down in the list or use the arrow buttons. Perfect. Now drag the edges of the frame inward so it creates a border around your playfield camera. Adjust until you're happy with how it looks. Quick tip. See these icons next to each source? The eye icon lets you hide a source temporarily without deleting it. This is super useful for testing. And the lock icon prevents you from accidentally moving or resizing something. Once your layout is perfect, you can lock in those layers. Also, if you mess up, Ctrl-Z on Windows or Command-Z on Mac will undo. Don't be afraid to experiment. You can always hit undo. Okay, let's add the backglass camera. A new video capture device, name it backglass camera, and select the Anker work camera. It's full screen and upside down. Remember, this is totally normal. Right-click Transform, rotate 180 degrees. Now it's right side up. Hold Option or Alt for Windows and crop it down to just show the backglass area. Make it smaller and position it where you want your canvas. Time for a frame. Add a color source, name it backglass frame. Now here's a cool trick for rounded corners. Right-click the frame source and select Filters. Click the plus at the bottom and add Image Mask/Blend. Click Browse next to Path and select one of the rounded corner masked files. I'll include a pack of these in different sizes in the video description that you can download and use. Select the one that matches your frame size. Change the type to Alpha Mask, Alpha Channel, and boom, you've got a beautiful rounded corners on your frame. Now resize the frame so it creates a nice border around your back glass. Let's do the DMD score display. Same camera as the back glass, the Anker work, but we'll crop it to just the bottom section where the DMD. Add another video capture device, name it DMD score, select the Anker work camera, rotate 180 degrees, then crop it down to only the DMD screen. Add a color source for the frame, apply the rounded corner mask the same way you just did, and position it where you want your canvas. Now for the Facecam. That's the OBSBOT Tiny 2. Add a video capture device, name it Facecam, select the OBSBOT, adjust the orientation of the input as needed, and crop the edges to your desired size. Create another color source frame, apply the rounded corner mask, position it below the Facecam layer, and resize to create a border. Looking good! For the chat box, you need to pop out the chat from your YouTube live stream dashboard. Go to your YouTube studio, click into your live stream, and look for the three dots next to the chat. Click Pop Out Chat. Make sure live chat is selected at the top and not top chat, so all your messages will show up. Copy the URL link of the chat. Back in OBS, add a new source, this time select Browser. Name it Chatbox. In the URL field, paste the URL from the popped out chat window. Set the width to something like 600 and height to 400. You can adjust these later. Here's the key part. Scroll down to Custom CSS. I'm going to include my custom CSS code in the video description. Just copy it and paste it exactly into this box. This styles the chat to look clean and readable on stream. Position the chat box on your canvas. Maybe add a frame behind it, like we did with the cameras, and now your viewers' messages will appear live on stream. Let's add your microphone. I use the Lark M2 wireless system. Click on the plus to add a source and select audio device. Choose your microphone. Here's something important for Mac users. Sometimes the input level resets in your system preferences. If your audio sounds quiet, open System Preferences, go to Sound, then the Input tab, and make sure the input volume for your microphone is turned all the way up. Back in OBS, you'll now see your microphone listed in the audio mixer at the bottom. You can adjust the volume slider here and watch the green meter to make sure it's picking up your voice. Speak at your normal streaming volume and make sure the levels are hitting the yellow zone, but not going into the red zone. This means it's too loud and it will distort. Last but not least, let's add your logo or any other graphics. Click the plus in Sources and select Image. Name it Logo. Then browse your logo file. PNG files with transparent backgrounds work well. Resize it and position it wherever you want. You could add a rounded corner frame behind it too, if you like that look. And there you have it. You just built a complete streaming scene from scratch. You've got your background, playfield camera, backglass, DMD, Facecam, chat, logo, and frames around everything. This is the foundation of your stream. Alright, before we can stream, we need to connect OBS directly to your YouTube account. This is actually really simple in OBS. Let's go to Settings. Click on the Stream tab on the left. Now under Service, click the drop-down and select YouTube RTMPS. You'll see the button that says Connect Account, recommended. Click that. This will open a web browser and take you to the YouTube login page. Sign in with the Google account that's connected to your YouTube channel, the one you'll be streaming from. YouTube will ask you to authorize OBS to access your account. Click Allow or Authorize. Don't worry, this is safe. OBS just needs permission to send your stream to YouTube. You'll see a success message. and you can close the browser window now. Back in OBS, you should now see your YouTube channel name appear, confirming you're connected. Now in your control panel at the bottom right, you'll see a drop-down that says Manage Broadcast. When you create a live stream in YouTube Studio, it will show up in this list. Just select which stream you want to go live with and you're ready to stream. That's it. Your YouTube account is now connected to OBS and you can start streaming whenever you're ready. Good job. Alright, now that OBS is configured, we need to set up the actual live stream on YouTube. Go to YouTube Studio, then click Create. In the top right hand select Go Live. You can create a new stream here or use a previous stream as a starting off point. Give your stream a title and description. Select Streaming Software as the broadcast type. Under Visibility, you have 3 options. Public, anyone can find and watch your stream. Unlisted, only people with the link can watch. Or private, only you and people you specifically invite can watch. While doing your testing, I highly recommend setting it to private or unlisted. You don't want your early test streams going out to the world while you're still figuring things out. Once your live stream is created, go back into stream settings in YouTube. If you want to interact live with your audience, select low latency. If you don't want to chat, normal latency will give you higher video quality. I use low latency for my live streams with chat. This gives about 5 to 7 seconds of delay. It's the sweet spot between real-time interaction and stream stability. Ultra low latency can cause buffering issues and is not recommended unless you have very high-speed internet and professional-grade equipment. Here's a pro feature, Studio Mode. Click this button and your OBS interface splits into 2. The left side is your preview where you can set up your next scene, and the right side is what's currently live. This way, you can make changes and transitions without your viewers seeing the behind-the-scenes chaos. This is a game changer once you get comfortable with it, but don't worry, if it seems complicated at first, you can stream perfectly fine without it. Before you go live to the public, do several test streams. Set your YouTube stream to private, hit start streaming in OBS and let it run for 10 to 15 minutes. Check the recording afterwards. How's the video quality? Are the audio levels good? Is the frame rate smooth? Does the chat work? Is everything positioned correctly? Run at least 2 to 3 test streams and fix any issues before you go public. Trust me, it's worth the time. One more thing. Let me show you OBS Blade. This is a free app for iOS and Android that turns your phone or tablet into a remote control for OBS. I run it on my iPad while I'm streaming. In OBS on your computer, go to Tools, then WebSocket Server Settings and enable it. Set a password. Then in OBS Blade app, enter your computer's IP address and the password. It connects over your local network. Now I can switch scenes, start and stop the stream, control audio levels, all from my iPad right next to my pinball machine. No need to run back to the computer. It's like having a free Stream Deck. Seriously, if you're streaming anything where you're not sitting at your computer, this app is essential. And that's it. You now know how to set up OBS. Configure your cameras, build professional looking scenes with frames and graphics, connect to YouTube, and even control everything remotely with OBS Blade. Download OBS and your camera software. Build a simple test scene, 1 camera, 1 frame, your logo. Connect to YouTube and run a private test stream. Watch it back and make adjustments. Repeat until you're happy. Don't try to make it perfect on day 1. My stream setup has evolved over months of tweaking and testing. Start simple and get comfortable, then add more elements as you learn. All the files I mentioned, the rounded corner mask, custom CSS for chat, links to all the software, everything is in the video description below. I've also included links to every piece of equipment I used in the setup. with both US and Canadian Amazon links, so you can grab whatever gear you need no matter where you're located. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I'll be making more tutorials on streaming, pinball, and content creation. Drop any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Now get out there and start streaming. I can't wait to see what you create. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.